Today I will rank all mainline Pokemon games on Switch, analyzing each game objectively by how good it is and what it meant to the franchise future, starting with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now this one is a hot take for sure, because back in 2023 when these games launched, they could barely be called games. Filled to the head with bugs, constant crashes, and an abysmal performance, it was unanimous that these were the worst mainline Pokemon games ever released. But fast forward to 2025 and a lot about Gen 9 has changed, including how people see it. With the Switch 2 upgrade, most of the bugs and general errors of the game got corrected, making the general opinion on them shift considerably. But for me, this is bullshit. Look, the fact that the game is playable now doesn't redeem most of its flaws. Let me explain this in 3 simple topics. First, Paldea is still a big pile of nothing to do. The cities are only filled with a bunch of sandwich shops that you can't even enter in the first place. There's no reward for exploring, making the open map of the game be completely useless and feel very empty because there are no interesting secrets or items to be found. Secondly, the textures are very lazy. They are not only ugly to look at, but keep colliding with each other. Clearly, no thought was put on designing entertaining and creative places to explore, like we had in the past regions. Everywhere you look and go, for me, just feel like Roblox in 2010. And lastly, everything about the game was a step back to the franchise. A bunch of moves were removed, TMs are now breakable again, and for the first time since Gold and Silver, we don't have a battle tower or any significant post-game at all. I could argue about how bad these games were for Pokemon nowadays, so if you want, leave a comment about that. But now, let's talk about the game people normally think is the worst on Switch. Pokemon BDSP. These are remakes of Diamond and Pearl, the original Gen 4 games. But despite being very revolutionaries at the time, there was a series of problems that hold them back. Bad team building, slow surf, and bad story choices made them feel like incomplete games. That's why the biggest critique on BDSP is the lack of any Pokemon Platinum content,
ignoring previous improvements.
So yeah, everyone can agree that the extreme fidelity to the originals is the worst mistake of these remakes. Not only that, but even the new additions felt like they were rushed, with the following Pokemon, for example, being represented in these really weird sizes and the chibi art style that led a lot of fans really disappointed. But here's the thing, in this video I'm looking at these games by how good they are, not what they could have been. This is the reason BDSP is ranked upon Scarlet and Violet. It's because they are essentially Diamond and Pearl, games with a better region to explore, more post-game content, and overall better games. But you see, with that said, we can go to an even more controversial game. The first brand new generation on Switch, Gen 8 is remembered for one thing only, the deck shit. It was the first time we would not have access to all the existing Pokemons, with only 400 Pokemons available on the base game, which compared to the 800 plus from Sun and Moon is a bit of a cut. Not only that, but was here that they started also to cut other features like Mega Evolution, some attacks that were less used, and the option to turn the XP share off.
We turn off experience share in Sword and Shield.
学習措置がない。
So you have to train up each individually.
じゃあ
All these controversies left a harsh taste in most people, but in defense to those games, they also added a few things that served as good steps moving forward. Because of all that, this is the last game I will consider meh, because Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are actually good games. Another take that is not very popular, but hear me out. These were the first Pokemon games on Switch, but definitely not your traditional experience. Despite the focus on the Pokemon Go mechanic of only throwing the Pokeballs and catching the wild Pokemons without any battle, if you go to these games with an open mind, they are some of the best you will get on the Switch in a bunch of aspects. For example, the following Pokemons here are their best they ever been in the whole franchise, following you at a great speed, accurate sizes, and you can even mount on them. The graphics are also very good to look at because they feel like a natural evolution from the 3DS. And after beating the game, you have battles against Red, Blue, Green, and access to Megas. Therefore, it's definitely not a perfect game, but you will probably enjoy the Let's Go experience. But talking about experiences, Pokemon Legends Arceus. The first entry on the Legends series was a welcome breath of fresh air. With many people being very disappointed with BDSP, Legends Arceus appealed not only for Sinnoh fans, but to everyone that wanted a game more focused on the catching aspects of the franchise. Because this game is the best catching Pokemon has ever been.
This game is addictive.
Sneaking up on them and seeing all the different behaviors the Pokemons have, launching smoke bombs, crafting Pokeballs, the whole game was centered between catching new species and studying them, which was pretty good, but unfortunately made the battle aspects of the game lack a lot. Overall still, a good experience, but one thing was lacking, something that a good sequel could certainly fix, and Pokemon Legends EA fixed most of those issues. With a constant switch between battling during the night so you can progress in the story and catching Pokemons during the day to expand your team, I believe this game made a perfect balance between a very satisfying catching experience and battles against trainers, rogue megas, promotions matches, all that to enhance the bond and strength of your team. And now the real-time combat was a very welcome addition to the franchise, that was only made better with the well-deserved return of Mega Evolutions. But let's cover all of them, so post your ranking in the comments if you disagree with me, which you probably do, and thanks a lot for watching.